welcome to Roseplay Presents, episode 92. As always, I'm your host, Orin Moonrose, and here on Roseplay we do something special all the time. Instead of just a normal episode, they are special episodes where anything can happen, from interviews with content creators, game developers, closed betas, movie reviews, game reviews, E3, which, like I explained yesterday, even though there is no E3 this year, we're still doing E3 2020. I'm just kind of throwing stuff together. Last time, we did the PlayStation conference, which revealed the PlayStation 5. Today, it's a multiple-day thing. So, normally I would only listen to the press conferences, but I think there's press conferences in this thing. This is the Guerrilla Collective. Indie Collect, something like that. It's more than one day, which means I'm going to at least have to put more than one episode into this thing. I heard the PC conference is here, kind of funny, and future games. So there's like 3 press conferences. So we're going to go ahead and get started on day 1 and, well, see stuff together.
What's happening, everyone? I'm Justin Woodward, co-founder of the Media Indie Exchange, The Mix, and one of the producers behind the Guerrilla Collective, helping to organize the show alongside our developer, publishing colleagues, and our great friends at Kind of Funny. We appreciate everyone's support for the show and tuning in. It is going to be an amazing experience. But we also wanted to put a positive message out into the world during these uncertain times. We are all proud of what we've accomplished thus far with the Guerrilla Collective, as well as the message of being stronger united. But we cannot ignore the tragedies of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and the other Black victims of police brutality and racially motivated violence.
Wow!
Last weekend, we put together the Black Voices in Gaming stream with the support of our partners to share a positive message, as well as aid for those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, through the addition of a charity supported by Tiltify, where you can donate to the streams. During the show, we will remind everyone ways that they can donate through the links below. Thanks for listening, supporting these movements, stay safe, and enjoy the Guerrilla Collective. Peace.
Interesting start of a message. So, yeah, I really don't know what to expect more than normal.
Welcome to the Guerrilla Collective, a 3-day digital festival of game announcements, trailers, and demos streamed straight to you.
3 days!
Please welcome your host, Game Awards trending gamer, Greg Miller.
Oh boy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Guerrilla Collective live from our sanitized and empty studio.
We got 3 episodes.
E3 on the ropes this year, the Media Indie Exchange, the Mix for short, and the Kind of Funny Games Showcase saw an opportunity to team up with amazing developers, publishers, and studios to help shine a spotlight on some of the coolest games around. And that's just what we're going to do here with the Guerrilla Collective. Almost 80 teams have come together to bring you nearly 90 games spread out across 3 days right here on the screen of your choice. Dang. Right now, it's day 1, and we could not think of a better way to welcome you to the Collective than to bombard you with trailers, reveals, and titles you can play as soon as the show is over. But let's not waste any more time on little old me. Instead, let's start with a world premiere trailer no one's ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is System Shock.
But we've heard of the game.
World premiere.
Alright, so this is kind of like the Game Awards with the trailers and stuff. I'm cool with this. So, my question is this a remaster, a retelling, a remake? I've heard a lot of good things about this. Definitely an interesting game. I think that guy was already bleeding from the mouth before you smashed it in. Kind of reminds me of BioShock, which I know BioShock was supposed to be kind of a, spiritual successor. Well, I mean, on gameplay alone, I would definitely maybe get this. Ooh, it is coming to most systems. I didn't see when, but I assume sometime within the year. Literally from now to next. Diablo 4? Diablo the card game? I don't know. Cardclasm, Shards of the Four, a single-player collectible card RPG. Alright. I'm always up for RPGs. Sometimes cards, I suppose. Meh? Huh. Well. A plus, I suppose. I mean, I guess. I don't think that extra bit of footage was gonna be like the deciding factor of, oh my god, I want this game now. I really don't personally care too much. Apparently, Ultimate Frisbee of the Gods. It doesn't look like it can turn into a ball. Alrighty then, I'm completely stimped. Oh my god! We can now extend it to infinity! XO1. Wishlist on Steam. Okay. Again, meh.
World premiere.
Thought that's what all those were. Versus Evil. Is that the company or the game? Okay, it's the company. Pre-alpha footage, work in progress. New Overlord. I don't know, it looks kind of neat so far. Guessing the pig's dead. Or a pig. Well, that thing's alive, though. Yeah, so it's like I'm just gonna... What in the world? Oh, now there's... Legion. Hunt. Provide. I'm guessing for your crew. Oh, somebody killed and/or stole somebody's arm. Protect. Interesting. Kill your gods. Well, if you say so. Almighty, kill your gods. Alright. Yeah.
We started the Kind of Funny Games Showcase in 2018 as a way to use our platform to make sure indie games weren't lost in the wake of big budget titles. That's why teaming up with The Mix for the Guerrilla Collective made so much sense. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from The Mix, Justin Woodward.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Hey, he's back.
Started The Mix in 2012 with the goal of helping to create new ways for developers to get visibility for their games. The Guerrilla Collective is really an evolution of that concept, where developers large and small showcase their games.
Justin, you're a developer yourself. Why are indie games so important?
Well, Greg, indie games are super important because the experiences that independent game developers invest their blood, sweat, and tears to create help to push gaming entertainment in the form of narrative, art, tech, and game design to new heights.
Exactly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you gotta support your indie devs. Indie devs with hot new titles just like these.
That was a interesting lead-in.
Rocky is a modern-day tale of courage and adventure. A game about monsters that shouldn't exist.
Oof.
Join Tuve, a young girl touched by magic. Explore an uncharted
That's never good
world
when
of
anybody's
hidden
touched.
legends. Discover mysterious items and meet long-forgotten monsters. Solve ancient
I will say
puzzles
this game
to
interests
unlock
me.
paths deeper into the forest.
Reminds me of a few games I've played in the past.
Draw maps, collect curiosities, and chart your adventure.
Collect curiosity? I just thought you had curiosity.
Unveil the story of tragic loss and the path to redemption.
How did you kill your parents?
Confront Tuve's past. Explore her memories and learn the truth.
Yes, I killed my parents. I'm a bad person.
A game about monsters that shouldn't exist,
We got that.
but do.
Huh. Well, I definitely am intrigued in that game.
Genesis Noir is kind of a combination of a creation myth and a film noir thriller. Hi, we're Feral Cat Den, a little design studio composed of myself, creative lead, Jeremy, technical
I usually like noir games.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, the technical lead. So in some ways, our game is a traditional point and click in that, you have the normal click to move your character around kind of thing. But in a lot of ways, it's not, in that we don't really have tricky inventory puzzles where you have to combine stuff together. It's a lot more about just kind of playing in space, and the puzzles are meant to kind of evoke a vibe and a feeling.
Black Seed that
Our
consumes
emphasis
dark
is more
energy.
on tactile, kind of exploratory interactions. So you might manipulate a planet's orbit or change the age of a sun.
That seems a little past noir there.
My skill set is definitely more 2D animation and graphic design. Jeremy is really into VJing and generative art.
You know what? I would give it a try.
Not only does a very black and white kind of
hoping that
simplified
there is some story.
Visual representation enable us to kind of explore concepts of on the cosmic scale and in the noir kind of territory. It's also, stuff that we like making, and it was a very natural fit.
So of course we're inspired by the classic noir films, which usually have a pretty jazzy soundtrack, and we've kind of tried to bring a more cosmic style to that, and inspired by stuff by Sun Ra and similar artists. So we partnered with these great musicians and sound designers in London called Skillbard, and they've really created this great dynamic soundtrack. And there's a lot of synergy between the visuals and the audio that feels really great, I think.
This is our first game that we've ever made, our first dabbling into
I guess you
Unreal.
can kind of tell.
Jeremy and I had wanted to make a project together for quite some time. I brought this idea to him, and it was kind of the perfect meeting point of all our different interests.
So then we made a little 2-week demo, and we sent that around to a few friends, and they were really encouraging, and they suggested that we go to GDC and try to meet with some publishers. And so that went really well. So it was
and then everything went down.
Genesis Noir is inspired by primarily cosmic comics, but so many other things, from classic film noir, like The Third Man is a personal favorite. We're super inspired also by the world of jazz. Guys like Sun Ra, Miles Davis, the kind of spacier territory that jazz explores. Thanks for checking out Genesis Noir. We're really excited for you to play it, and we look forward to you destroying the Big Bang.
Thanks for checking out our game, and we hope you enjoy it. Bye.
We hope you enjoy Destroying the Big Bang, Genesis Noir. Oh, Xbox One, I'll have to, keep that in mind.
World premiere.
Product not yet rated.
Welcome to Purgatory, the land of lost souls, the realms of madness. Does anyone have what it takes to survive the nightmares of this realm and open the doors of insanity?
Well, you're stuck in purgatory,
Join
so
our
you're
hero
gonna
riding
lose your
his
sanity.
mighty steed on a quest of redemption. Monstrosities and damnation stand in their way, armed with sword, shield, and mystical cards. No defense, just attack. They will carve
Wow,
a
we're
path of
really
merciless
going on
terror
with these
through their
card
enemies.
battle games, aren't we?
I mean, we just started. Let's try that again. Witness a world where chilling on a boat on the river Styx makes you look like a total badass. Because you know you won't be thrown overboard to hell. Because you are really, really awesome. Limbo cannot hold you. You deserve paradise. Use your sexy charms. Befriend a scary witch. Master spells with your magnificent mind. Summon awesome allies for your enchanted entourage. And give respect to beings of infinite powers. Hey, what a cool story. Using a new powerful deck of defense cards, you will block, parry, and riposte your way to victory.
And death.
Not again. Were heroes always this fragile? Strap yourself in. Again?
I just give up. It's the Dark Souls of card battle RPG games, guys.
I'm gonna be honest, this is not going the way we wanted it to. Okay, come on. Alright, next hero. More meat for the grinder. In a world where everyone dies and hope is futile. Yes! Alright. Good card choices, excellent equipment. Okay, solid tactics. We got this. We have our hero. Now, let's swing open the doors of insanity.
Is that the name of the game?
Where no sword is too big, armor too thick.
I'm gonna call you Dark Souls card game.
It's a totally awesome game that you should definitely buy.
But am I?
This is the story of a little juggler's girl. Trapped in her life, she wanted to see the world. Alone. And, oops, not quite alone. Careful, Abby. Careful where you flee. The world has worse on offer than the skin of your knee.
Okay. Aww.
As much as I wish that it weren't so,
Control everything.
the way things are the way things go. I'm all you've got in this forsaken land, so hold back and trust in your narrator's hand.
A juggler's tale. Oh, okay. Postal 4. The start of something horrible. Is this Mail Simulator? I will take the cat though. Oh. The choices. Dude, I'm already in. The choices got me. Forget the rest. This is a really weird game. Ghost blasters. I'm intrigued. Urban Trial, Ricky. Crazy Kid Ricky, who almost kills himself. Great game, great game. Koala Cola. Just can't get that Coca-Cola.
Alright! Awesome!
Also impairment. Yeah, I don't think my thing, but interesting for the Switch?
Exclusive.
To what?
In Boyfriend Dungeon, you spend a summer in Verona Beach, California, fighting monsters for money. Except the swords you find in the dungeon can also transform into beautiful men, women, and non-binary people you can befriend or date.
Oh, I've heard of this before. Like last year, I think.
You try to get as far as you can in the dungeon.
I can take my weapons.
But dying's okay, because you can level up too.
Isaac the stuck.
You need to get stronger to go further. To do that, you'll need a closer relationship with your weapon.
Yeah.
You spend the game alternating between fighting in the dungeon and hanging out with your weapons around town. I personally get bored if there's only fighting, but also I get restless if there's too much reading, so we wanted to make a mix of the two.
You know, I'm sadly intrigued, but the whole weapon thing kind of scares me. Just saying. Boyfriend Dungeon.
Here, I'm dating Sunder the Talwar, and when we spend enough time together, we'll discover new abilities we can use in combat. Each weapon has a different set of upgrades to find, with choices to make along the way. Different weapons have different preferences for where they want to go on dates, how they want to flirt, and what kinds of gifts they want to receive. They might give you a gift too.
They might give you a gift like themselves as a weapon.
There's a variety of different kinds of people/weapons to date in Boyfriend Dungeon, so it's up to you who you want to wield and level up your love. But watch out, there's someone out there kidnapping weapons. We're getting closer to finishing Boyfriend Dungeon now, and we hope people will love it as much as we do. If that sounds like your kind of game, wishlist Boyfriend Dungeon on Steam now.
Level up your love. Night Call's real strength is in the story it tells. And I like stories. Coming June 24th, which means it should be out actually already. Save your partner. Cowboy. Choose your gunslinger. Red Dead Redemption 3 Retro Downgrade. Or Custard's Revenge 2. This time we got rid of everything offensive. So a brand new game. Colt.
All that looked awesome, but it highlights my number one problem with showcases like ours, Justin. We show you all this cool stuff, and then you have to wait months to play it.
Yo, I feel you, Greg. That's why we at the Guerrilla Collective are putting an end to that right now. This next round of games share one amazing concept.
They're coming
They
out
are
now
all
soon.
being released this month.
So
Exclusive.
most of it should be out then. Oh, look, another card battler! I never saw that coming. Yeah, this is like really popular this year. Don't get me wrong, I like story, I like RPGs, and the card battle system is done right, I can really enjoy it, but I'm not... I don't know how much I like the random scans, though. Assault Android 2. Oh god, I hope not. I just got done with one I do not want to get started on 2 anytime soon. Radius 18. Yeah, we're still going. Ridge Force Redux. Alright, so some remaster-ish. My favorite Metroid Me Do Sense Axum. Oh. So we're just blatantly saying we're ripping off Metroid a little bit? I mean... games do that all the time, but... Uh-oh, the Switch is back. Oh, is this still the... No, this is a different... The anticipated fast action is coming to Nintendo Switch! What is this? Scourgebringer? think that's right. Never heard of it, so...
Okay, we just gave you a bunch of games you can play today, so I think it's okay to go back to teasing you. And let's start in a big way. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a brand new announcement trailer from Baldur's Gate 3.
Ooh.
Exclusive.
Consider your predicament. One skull, 2 tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all, like that. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair.
And you know, we like arrows and people do.
You'll come knocking on my door.
I mean, I like the other Baldur's Gate, so I think I'm gonna do it anyway.
Hi everybody, and
well,
welcome
that was
to
out of nowhere.
Number 3 for Baldur's Gate 3. I have great news today. We finally locked down our early access content, and we decided that we're going to bring Baldur's Gate 3 for the very first time in your hands in August 2020. As to say, maybe. And the maybe has everything to do, of course, with COVID-19. We've been hit like everybody else in the world. We've been working from home, which wasn't necessarily the easiest thing as game developers, because we like to huddle around the monitor and discuss about the things that are happening in the game. But nonetheless, we managed to make a lot of progress since you last saw the game at PAX East. So we think we're going to make it, depending on a couple of things. One of these things, for instance, is our performance capturing and motion capturing. Our people have started returning to the office. We've been recording again.
You know, it is weird seeing everybody else wear masks. I mean, I know people are wearing masks.
The game is looking amazing.
See some of the game
it is
developers doing it.
To see how much progress has been
made.
Oh,
that really makes it feel real.
And I think when you'll see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The visual fidelity has increased a lot. And the cool part is that actually we're going to launch the game in August in early access, but we still have an entire development period to go after that. So it's going to look even better by the time it's going to release. You will see things like improvement in combat. We did a lot of changes in how combat flows, how the camera moves, how the initiative system works. All together they make for a much more refined combat experience, which is a lot of fun, I can tell you that. There are changes in the way that we do our narrator. That was something that we had a lot of feedback on. There's the integration of the rule set is getting better and better, so we were getting a really good handle on how to do things, and so it feels like a really, really cool game with a lot of depth when you play it now. Here's the really cool part. You don't have to wait until August 2020 to see what I'm talking about, because we'll do another gameplay live stream, and we'll do it just in front of Dungeons & Dragons Live on June 18th. And you will decide for me whether or not I'm going to kill a hobgoblin who deserves to be killed, his name is Dror Raxdin, or if I'm going to descend into the Underdark. I'm very much looking forward to it, so I hope to see you
We're
there
all going to want
on
to go to
June
the
18th.
Underdark.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll make the game last longer.
Bye-bye.
Again, I'm all up for Baldur's Gate 3. I kind of wish... Oh yeah, they did kind of do a remaster, didn't they, for PlayStation?
What makes
Never
a true
mind.
RPG?
Story?
Shaping the attitudes and urges of a fallible psyche.
RPG element?
Bruising
Apparently
the tissues
hard.
of another world.
Because they're everywhere.
Should a true RPG have dice rolls? How about a megaton of dialogue? Maybe it's found in achieving a certain prestige, or winning the undying love of the people. But perhaps none of that matters, for being true is really about finding your style. That's right, brother.
That's right, brother.
A true RPG. Now on the Epic Games Store.
A true RPG. Not from Epic, so you know what? I'd give it a shot. Ghost Rider!
They say there ain't no such thing as a good death.
Wait. It's not actually Ghost Rider, right?
Depends on which side of the gun you're on and what you're fighting for.
West of Dead. Oh, Ron Perlman. He does like getting his hands dirty in video games, doesn't he? It's really cool because I think Ron Perlman actually has a really nice voice for voice acting in his games.
Most were cursed or sent to the abyss. But a few folks are looking out for me, helping where they can. Others, more problematic.
Again, intrigued. I like the game style for the graphics, and it's got Ron Perlman. He's usually like story-based games, and it looks like the third-person shooter, maybe action.
Old saying, the only thing evil requires to succeed is for a good man to do nothing.
Love that saying.
Living or dead, still true. And I'm through doing nothing.
I like. Ooh, it needs to be out now.
Hi, I'm Tarn Adams. I'm the co-founder of Bay 12 Games, and we make the game Dwarf Fortress. My brother Zach and I have been working on that game for a long time. It came out in 2006, but now we're bringing the game to Steam and Itch, and the biggest update about it is that we're bringing graphics to the game. The artists, Mike and Patrick, are longtime modders of the game.
That's really big map.
And now we're all working together to give the game an overhaul and hopefully let a lot more people play it. Dwarf Fortress is a settlement management game. You have a
so this is actually
group of dwarves that go out to make a fortress in a procedurally generated world.
I don't know.
That's the first part we'll be looking at here. So by procedurally generated world, we don't just mean
I'm sure
a
a lot of
randomized
people like
map,
something like this.
but that it runs a history, a historical simulation over a few hundred years, if you want to let it keep running, where civilizations spread out and trade with each other, fight with each other, magical things happen, strange things happen. There's thousands and thousands of little characters tracked that you might see when you start playing your game. There are all sorts of edges between things that you can see here, between the different biomes, little trees and mountains and so forth, so that the picture is a little more readable than it was before, when it was just squiggles and arrows. And you can see the world develop as the years pass. And
I do like that idea, though. I love watching the world evolve.
Dwarves and
that's why I kind of like SimCity
playing in this
and Civilization Revolution.
So when you start your fortress, you have your dwarves and a wagon and some animals to start with, and whatever else you would like to bring along. Pick for mining, buckets and ropes and food, alcohol, very important. General idea is that you'd want to just kind of lay out your things and dig into the mountain, make some bedrooms, make some workshops, allow people to start getting on with their lives here. So the big thing you might notice about this area at first is that it has some three-dimensionality to it, in the sense that there's a hill and lower levels and that you can see going up and down. That was the big first project for the artists and I to kind of work out how we're going to display this in text you could just show some upward triangles. There's a ramp, go uphill. And that worked for a few people. But to try and generalize that, we had to draw many cases of ramps and get them displayed. But it looks cool now. Here they are. We have all sorts of ramps and things. Then there's lots of workshop pictures to do, lots of item pictures to do. Our dwarves are all just sort of this one placeholder dwarf right now, but we'll have different faces and clothing and things for the different appearances of the dwarves. All the dwarves have back in the text version, it was just a giant text paragraph describing what the dwarf looks like, but now you'll be able to see some of that. It's pretty exciting. We're still at the early stages. You can see with the text graphics that are still around the edges and so forth that we're going to update. This is all very kind of preliminary.
It's really not that bad of a game.
It should be pretty cool by the time we're done. And we have a lot more to work on, and then that means a lot more kind of news to share as we go, as we update the pictures and also the usability of the game, so that it'll be easier to get into.
I do kind of like it. I will say that. Oh, I always struggle. Ooh, Odin. Valheim. Didn't get that much from it, though. See more at the PC Gaming Show. Okay. Well, thankfully we'll be watching that at some point. Approaching hell. Find a weapon! Aw, mankind's dead. Hell is cute. I love that. That was terrible. Mankind's dead. Grab a weapon. New Blood presents a really psychedelic game. A retro shooter. Well, that makes more sense. I didn't get to read all of that, though. This game contains, I assume, violence and gore. They are going way too fast to read much of anything. Although in the corner, this reminds me of Devil May Cry. It's fast-paced, though. Dang. Like, I don't know if I could do the fast-paced, but I guess I did do Devil May Cry a long time ago. Ultra kill. Devil May Quake. Oh. That's kind of hilarious. Maybe they were going kind of on the...
Kill the intruder.
Oh!
Are you ready to find the next game you'll love more than anything else? That's the worst transition of the show, I promise. Check out these gameplay updates from some of our closest friends.
Well, you did some pretty okay ones earlier in it.
Exclusive.
Three, two, one.
Hi everyone, and welcome to 11-Bit Studio Show in the Guerrilla Collective. You know us from the titles like Frostpunk, This War of Mine, Moonlighter, Children of Morta, and more.
I've heard of it.
First up, let's visit the home of the Bergson family, the protagonists of Children of Morta, a story-driven roguelite action RPG
Okay, well, I'm already liking
in a
this one.
mesmerizing fantasy world. It's just got a new Game Plus free update, but there's more content coming. Here are a few words from Marek Zimak, executive producer at 11-Bit Studios.
Hey guys, we hope you're doing okay. Luckily we're fine and we're working harder than ever. Children of Morta has a very special place in our hearts. And we also know that many of you out there really enjoyed that game.
Still maybe? I mean, it looks like a Diablo
has added
type
new
game.
Plus mode to the game.
And
But this is not
pretty
the
okay
end
with
of
that.
the story of Children of Morta. Obviously, there's more content coming. We know that when it comes to RPG games, new characters are in high demand. This is exactly what we'll focus on in our next free update called Bergson's Home. We will be
Oh, so this
bringing
game's
you
an
a
out
brand
So
new
yeah,
playable
I have
character
heard
to
of
enjoy.
it at the very least.
Our brave hero merchant Will from Moonlighter is never tired of adventures. Between Dimensions DLC has just released on consoles. And now Will is packing his backpack to discover the lands of mobile gaming. Here's Javier Jimenez, Digital Sun CEO.
Hi there folks, this is Javi from Digital Sun. It has already been 2 years since we released Moonlighter. It's been quite a ride for us and we want to thank you all. We are celebrating this anniversary by releasing the Moonlighter DLC Between Dimensions on all consoles. We know some of you have been waiting for that for quite a while, so we hope it's worth that time.
Okay, so this is
And
mostly
we are
games
also
that have
announcing that
already
we are
been out,
releasing Moonlighter
getting new
Mobile
updates.
later this year.
Oh!
The mobile version of Moonlighter is going to be something quite fresh and quite new because we try to rebuild it so it feels like a
Not much
native
for
mobile
mobile,
experience.
but, you
It has
know,
new controls, it
I
has
can
a
find
new
a
graphic
game
user
like
interface,
DVD,
it has new
mobile,
approach
and
to
regular
combat.
that I could do
So
something
we
like
think it's going to feel
on
not like a
console
simple
and
port, but something that
mobile.
it's actually working as a native game.
But it's on Switch, so
We
why would I
want
want
to
to
share
use my
with you
phone
some bits
personally?
of videos
I mean,
we
that's
have
just
to put
me.
in gameplay so you can take a glimpse into what's coming. And that's everything I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much and see you soon.
The Scouts have brought news from the farthest, coldest corners of Frostland. The population of New London, humanity's hope, has survived. But was it all worth it? Here's a special reveal from Frostpunk's lead designer, Kuba Stokalski.
Hello everyone. Frostpunk is a grim society survival city building game. In January, it got a prequel expansion called The Lost Autumn, which enables you to see what happens just before the icy apocalypse. This new
Well, that's cool
expansion
for a
tells a
game
story of citizens of New
delves
London
into it.
on a special assignment after the Great Storm. It opens not only a brand new chapter in the Frostpunk universe, but pits you
Sounds
against
black,
new challenges
apparently.
and new gameplay mechanics, both in the city and on the Frostland map, enriching the experience. A brand new frozen board is set, and the pieces are moving. What does it mean for you as the leader, and what fate awaits your society? Well, for now, I'm not going to spoil anything else. Let's just take a look at this short teaser we've prepared.
Sure. I mean, that's kind of what we're all about, right?
They say that the snow is dead,
Was Snow ever really alive?
but we've learned to the contrary.
Oh?
The universe of Frostpunk holds even more fascinating secrets.
The board game.
The next one should be really exciting, especially for fans of board games. Frostpunk is going offline. Here's Jacob Wisniewski from Glass Cannon
A
Games
board
to
game.
unveil this
Now,
mystery.
I am intrigued.
Hi there, I'm Kuba Wisniewski from Glass Cannon. Some of you might remember me as the co-author of the highly acclaimed This War of Mine, the board game. Now,
Okay, I'm
together with Adam
extremely intrigued about this
Kropinski,
and the
author
other
of the best-selling Nemesis, the board game, and my team, I'm super hyped to bring you an ice-cold tabletop experience. Ladies and gentlemen, Frostpunk is officially going unplugged. The core gameplay will be, as you could imagine, morally complex and highly, highly challenging. We're working very hard to bring the emotions from the video game to your tables. Frostpunk the board game is going to be a deeply strategic, yet easy to learn, co-op experience full of tough choices, narrative depth, immersive gameplay, snow, and despair.
I don't know, but I'm curious about it.
As you can see, there's some exciting adventures ahead of us. That's not all, though. We're also working on some exciting in-house projects, as well as collaborating with other studios like Fool's Theory. A new game from Digital Sun Games is coming as well. And trust us when we say, there's more where that came from. That concludes the news from 11-Bit Studios. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to the newsletter to always be up to date with the latest news. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.
Short and to the point. Oh, I was like, is this the new Red Hot or what? Oh, of course. Cars! I think that's the theme of this year. Cars. Oh, elbow counter. You know, I am strangely intrigued by this one. It kind of reminds me of the Metal Gear Acid trading card game, which we haven't gotten to on the show yet, but I really did enjoy that one. So, fights in tight spaces. So, if it had an interesting, okay, story, I would be all up for that, actually. Well, aren't they swearing comics? Boom! Wow. Well, that should be out relatively shortly after this gets aired. Oh god, it reminds me of Community. They burned and killed the blacksmith! Okay, that's a cool outfit. I'm in. Again. What, really? Gotta be like Mega Man, too. You know what you need to do for E3 one of these years? Just don't. Steam and Cinder. Have every game that they show have trailers and have links to them so we can play them in order. Decoy game. Okay, if I had a rubber duck with come back. If I had a rubber duck with a cannon, I would be afraid. Crossplay Unleashed. Swim Sanity.
World premiere.
Neat. And it just caused on again. Guys, you're fighting creatures that are 500,000 times bigger than you. I think you're screwed. Just a thought. See, at least now you're fighting head players. No place for oh, that's the name of the game. Switch and Steam. Might be an interesting game for the Switch. Whoa! I think we entered the game at the wrong time. Have an interesting relationship. It feels RPG-ish. Maybe. Haven. I'll have to keep that one in mind.
You ever wonder how it all ends? What if it ended with a song?
That'd be an interesting end. Oh, it's another fast-paced shooter! What is this? Based on music? Let's blow people up with music. Follow the beat. Okay, you know what? That's actually an interesting one. Mental health, vocal performances, so young, dark. You know, if it has a good story, I just might be interested in it.
Look at the time. Can you believe that my part of day one is almost over, people? Listen, we know you got literally nowhere else to go, but we also know that if you're like us, you're antsy for more of that new hotness. So before we hand the stream off to the Paradox Insider, here are a couple more world premieres.
Oh.
world premiere.
It makes sense. They did say it was a group of people. That's not creepy at all. God. Ooh, Hideo Kojima. Oh, please unblock my number. Do you really think Hideo Kojima's watching? Well, he might. But what makes you so sure that he is? I mean, unless this is David Hayter or Norman Reedus, I think he probably... Wait, why would you... The crab with the knife. Why would he have your number blocked in the first... Who are you? No. No. No! I think Hideo Kojima will keep your number blocked. And he farted. Just die already. Old people mayhem sandbox. Weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up my section of the Guerrilla Collective's first day, but we are far from done. Up next is the Paradox Insider, where Paradox Interactive is going to share deeper details on the latest games they've been working on. Let's check in with Paula Tellin over at the Paradox Studio. How's it going over there, Paula?
Hi, Greg. We're doing great. We've been watching the show and we love it. So I'm just a little bit annoyed that we have to start our own presentation because that means we have to stop watching all of the cool content that you've shown so far.
I'm sure your stuff is also reasonably cool, or at least fun to watch.
Well, we're about to find out.
Well,
the Paradox team have been working from home lately, so we're super excited to show the world outside.
I was waiting for her to make a joke and be like, no. No, it's
cool
not.
Stuff. I'm looking forward to it. So let's start the countdown and stay tuned for Paradox Insider.
Okay, well, unless it's starting right up, we're gonna skip past the countdown. Wait, are they gonna show off Mafia 1 Remastered? Oh, I would be pumped about that. There's too many titles, I can't read them all. My brain.
Hello,
sure,
and thanks for joining us for the first ever Paradox Insider. My name is Paula, and I'm the event manager at Paradox. And joining me here is my good friend Sean, who is not a vampire, but the brand manager for World of Darkness. And I don't know about you, Sean, but I think it is wonderful to be here for our part in this grand celebration of games.
Absolutely. It's fantastic to be in a room with people again.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'd love to be in all the many, many rooms around the world that we're normally in with our players in Los Angeles, in Cologne, having the conversations that we love to have. But unfortunately, we can't, so we've got the next best thing. We're coming straight to your living room.
Yeah, and it also feels great that we're able to do something proactive about this and actually, reach the world outside, show them what we've been working on this spring and so on.
Absolutely. I mean, we've all been working from home at Paradox, but our studios haven't let that stop them. They've been working from their living rooms, from their bedrooms, from their bathrooms. It's going to be a non-stop gaming fest today. We're going to hear from the teams behind Crusader Kings 3, Empire of Sin, Prison Architect, Surviving the Aftermath. We'll have a special message from Hearts of Iron 4. And of course, the one game that I am 100% unbiased towards, despite the blood bonds, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. All right, let's not waste any more time, Paula. Why don't you kick it off with the team behind Crusader Kings 3?
All right, it is time to get this show started. It's time to dive into the treacherous world of Crusader Kings 3 with a fresh look at live gameplay from our newest grand strategy game. Please give a warm welcome, which will happily accept over the internet, to game designer Alexander Ultner and community developer Rod Del Rue.
Hi, Paula. Thanks for having us.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
So you just dropped some major news for Crusader Kings. The game will be released on September 1st, which is literally around the corner, and pre-orders are live right now. Rod, how has the reception in the community been so far?
It's been so good. People are really appreciating the dev diaries that we're putting forward. We have fans that have loved seeing the new religious system that we have, and also the lifestyle system that adds, just that little extra layer of RPG. So it's been pretty good. We're super happy.
Good. And Alex, how is the mood in the dev team right now?
Oh, it's fantastic. The team has been working really, really hard. And of course, it's both frightening and exciting to get feedback from our fans like this. We love the game and we love all the feedback we're getting, and we're counting down the hours to September 1st.
Wonderful. Rod, tell us a little bit about what you have prepared for us today.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start with one of the most interesting starting positions in CK3, which is going to be in Spain. Essentially, what we want to showcase here is the various decisions that are open to you even before you press play and start playing. It's like taking a look at the various challenges that you are facing before you start the game.
Cool. Well, let's dive in, shall we?
Sure.
All right. The year is 1066, and we are located in northern Spain. Of course, it's not Spain yet, and it won't be for another 400 years, unless we expedite the process. Northern Spain is divided into a number of Catholic kingdoms that stand against the powerful Moorish realms of the south. In northwestern Iberia, we have 3 kingdoms ruled by 3 brothers. We have Galicia, we have Castile, and us in Leon. One new feature in Crusader Kings 3 is the issues widget at the top. And if we click it, we can see that we are in line to inherit both Galicia and
they did talk to the people about the game a little bit, and we get to see
this
them
is what
talk
makes the
about
starting
it and play
position
it.
super
These
interesting.
are my favorite cuts.
We are playing as Leon,
And this is what I
and
kinda
the
wish
only
some of
thing
the
that is
people would go
standing
back
between us and the throne of Galicia is our Castilian brother, and we need to attack him first before rushing
This
for
really
Galicia.
makes me be like, oh, I really want to try this game now.
If we look at the map, we can see that Galicia is the one that is most open to Moorish attacks. Castile and Leon both have southern mountains that provide a very defensible advantage. If we compare army sizes, we can clearly see that Castile has the biggest army, while we have a middling army, and the young king of Galicia has the smallest army. None of us really have an edge over the other, but we might be able to find an ally to support us.
And in Crusader Kings, this might mean marriage, right?
Absolutely, Paula. Marriage is super key in Crusader Kings 3. If you don't have a marriage, you don't have any allies. And I think we should take a look at the various Iberian countries that we have around us, and I think an Aragon princess would do just fine.
Indeed, this Aragonese princess will get us their armies on our side. Next, let's take a look at our king. So all characters in CK3 have 5 different skills. And we can see here that King Alfonso is very good at intrigue, which means that he can plot and scheme very effectively. And if we appoint a skilled spy master to support our schemes, and we get a spouse that enhances our intrigue, we can become even better. And to top it all off, we will pick a lifestyle that really accentuates this focus on scheming.
Okay, well, I will say
we
this
pick
is
the
pretty neat,
skullduggery
though,
focus.
this part.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
and
the
it's
game might
key
not be
here
for me, but I
to
can
lean
definitely
into
see the value
intrigue.
in
And
it.
why is that? Because, like Alex was mentioning, we have evenly matched forces against Castile, so we should really lean into that intrigue and start a murder plot to get rid of the brother.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
so the plan is to
really
kill the
start a
brother here.
murder
Alex, are we
plot,
moving
because
forward
that's what
with
we
this?
do.
Indeed. We're going to try and murder our brother. As you can see, we have a 50% chance of succeeding.
So you don't want to do that
and,
right now.
if we are lucky, we can even find more agents in the court of our target.
Oh, okay, so you're going to build up.
That might be convinced by a slight bribe.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing with Crusader Kings, right? If you're trying to plot a murder against someone and you don't have enough power to succeed, you can bribe people, but you also have a special perk in the intrigue lifestyle, which essentially allows you to find secret and dirt on people in your court and then force them to join your plot.
Oh, so many different options, but unfortunately we're running out of time here. But Alex, how do you think that this story will play out?
Oh, there are so many unanswered questions. Will our plot against our Castilian brother succeed? Will we gain Galicia before Galicia manages to produce a legitimate heir? Will we be able to leverage the armies from Castile and Aragon to take over Galicia
This is a
in
nice
time?
way to end it by
Can we contain
asking
all of this
questions.
familial treason before we have to fight external enemies? There are millions of ways for this to play out.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait a little bit longer, but thank you so much for taking us through a short snippet of the drama that you can expect in Crusader Kings 3. Due to be released on September 1st and available for pre-order now.
Well, betrayal, assassination, treason, kind of feels like we're having a Paradox show already.
Yeah, I agree. You went down a dark path pretty fast there.
Good.
But I guess that the next game that we have lined up is not going to disappoint us either. I mean, building a crime empire in the 1920s Chicago is not something that you're going to get away with without bribing a few cops, breaking a few alliances, maybe cutting some questionable deals on the black market. What do you think?
Underhanded tactics, politics, taking over the city. These are all things that are very close to where my heart once was.
Next up is Empire of Sin.
Oh! I wanted to learn more about the Mafia remaster that's supposed to come out this month.
And joining me here in the studio from the Empire of Sin team are Ian O'Neill, lead combat designer, and Brenda Romero, game director for Empire of Sin, both from Romero Games. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Nah, I was asking for too much to hope
Hey,
to
everybody.
see some gameplay from it.
So, Brenda,
I heard
tell
they
me,
were rebuilding
what
it from
inspired you to
ground
make
up.
a game about 1920s gangsters?
It's more like what couldn't have possibly inspired me. I mean, we wanted to make this game for a long time. It's an incredibly rich space. It's 1920s Prohibition era Chicago. You have a lot of larger than life personalities like Al Capone and Frankie Donovan and Goldie Garneau that are there at the time. And what's not to love? The stories, the personalities were made for a strategy game. And as with many game designers, if you really want to play something and it's not there, then you make it.
Absolutely. So why don't you tell us how all of that figures into gameplay? What do we have here?
In Empire of Sin, you can play as one of 14 different bosses. And it's a great mix of factual and fictional bosses,
That's
each
actually
with their own
awesome.
bonuses and special abilities.
14.
And today, we're going to play as one Mr. Dean O'Banion.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about Dean. What's his background? What kind of person is he?
Well, he grew up in Chicago, actually, in an area known as Little Hell. And in spite of that, or possibly because of it, Dean had strong ties to the church, which influenced many of the decisions he made, but clearly not all of them. Dean actually owned a flower shop, and from there, he ran his rackets.
Okay, very cool. Do all the bosses have their own missions?
Indeed they do. Dean's just about to head off to meet with Father Higgins here, which will kick off his boss mission.
So,
Dean's used to walking the streets of Chicago, but we can also take a look at things from the world map
this
to get a good idea of
reminds
what's
me
going on.
of the original Grand Theft Auto.
Here we see Dean having a bit of a holy sit-down with the good Father Higgins. Now, Father Higgins has received word that a brothel has opened up in a neighbourhood nearby. And if there's one thing that Dean cannot abide, it's brothels. There are several things Dean could pick to say here, but he does what he needs for the good of the church. Ah, you're a good lad, Dean. Father Higgins offers him $500 from the coffers. Now you can choose what you want to choose, but me, I'm always going to pick the cash. And a good blessing for the soul certainly can't hurt.
Righto, but how will Dean handle this then?
Well, in Empire Sin, diplomacy happens one of two ways. It's either going to happen by breath or by bullet. And either we're going to talk it out and things are going to come to some kind of arrangement, or they're going to go south real quick. So Dean knows just the man for the job, and his name is George Moran, and he's a regular at one of Dean's establishments. You can see him there at the bar. So George is tight with the church too, but his morals are pretty loose. And here he's telling Dean that some guy is in from New York who he thinks has a pretty serious attitude problem. And George wants Dean to keep an eye on him, but Dean already knows a bit more. Now, the story ends up taking some surprising turns and getting pretty deep, but for now, Dean just wants to get the good father's deed done.
Okay, but it doesn't really sound like a one-man job. Is he going to get any help?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking too. In Empire Sin, there are 60 gangsters of varying skill levels that you can hire to join your crew. Me? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hire on Maria Rodriguez and Guido Cerrone. Now, I fought with these guys before, and they're fantastic. Gangsters develop loyalty to their boss the longer that they work together, and they also have an individual attribute called morale, which affects how they perform.
We know that every boss in Empire of Sin has their own combat ability. What's Dean's speciality?
Oh, yes. Dean's combat ability is a ranged attack known as Blasphemy. Now, there were many accounts of Dean's brutal attacks during the Chicago newspaper wars, where O'Banion and his crew were known as sluggers, and they would beat up the competition for rival newspapers. This often resulted in really close-range gunfights. This was where I drew the inspiration for Blasphemy. Using this move, Dean will fire a custom shotgun slug at the target, and when the slug hits the target, it explodes.
I really wasn't
but I really wanted to add something extra, something that would give this ability a bang. That's when I decided that Dean's boss ability would be devastating to heavily armored foes. I wanted to shred their armor completely, and not just one target, but multiple targets. And as a final piece to the puzzle, the name. An awful, brutal attack delivered by a foe that saw himself as a saint. Blasphemy was a most fitting title.
Man, it is a perfect title and a great move. So here we can see that Dean is done, and he did what he needed to do, but there's a whole lot of Chicago beyond this. Dean's going to settle things here with Father Higgins, but like I said, it isn't over by a long shot, and it's going to take some surprising turns. In all of these stories, they're nothing compared to the stories that the player will tell on their way to the top of Chicago. That is mission complete.
Huh. Yeah, no, I'm up for this one. It's probably just going to be PC only, huh?
Very cool, guys. You know, speaking of family connections, I've actually got a contingent out your way in County Galway. There's a Granny's pub not far from you guys.
Well, now that we know about it, I'd say it's not for long. Do you have any idea what their security's like? We could use another racket.
I don't know how thick the walls are or how many cameras they've got, but give it a try and we'll see who gets who. Thanks for joining us, guys.
All right. Good with me to Mahagats.
All you folks.
And Empire of Sin will come to both PC and console in autumn of this year, 2020.
Ooh. So I was standing here on the side,
man,
just
console?
wishing I could play Brenda
this up
Romero
then.
in the game.
I'm absolutely certain you can. She's definitely snuck herself in there somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully. She is the coolest. But Sean, it seems like you left out an important piece of your backstory that I haven't heard before.
At least one important piece.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But your family owns a pub in Ireland.
Yeah, definitely. So my distant family does have a pub in County Galway. But you know, I mean, every family has some skeletons in the closet. I'm sure your family is no different.
Oh, well, most likely, but I don't know. There's a Tallinn bakery
I don't know
in Stockholm,
them. Okay.
for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I can see some dark stories there. We've got cinnamon buns, we've got Swedes. I think we've got some bribing Swedes with sweet cinnamon buns.
What do you think about this guy, though, who have been standing here staring us out the entire time?
You're just blinking as well.
Yeah, I know. Do you think we could bribe him with some cinnamon buns?
No, I think this guy's more into whiskey and cinnamon bun-sized holes in his enemies. And from one game about managing organized crime to another about managing criminals, it's time for Prison Architect.
The perfect island getaway. For the worst prisoners. I think I do have one of the Prison Architect games, so yeah. Keep him fed up. He looks like he needs bedding. He looks like he needs to be fed too. Keep him trapped. Oh no, not Commissioner Gordon. Keep him dry.
Wow, that is Island Bound. Let's check in with the team.
Oh yay,
first,
we're gonna get to see
give
a little.
polite
Yeah, I'm really
welcome,
liking this one.
Which won't disturb your neighbors. To product manager Stacy McElwham. Welcome.
Hi,
thank you.
I like the last name.
It's a catchy trailer you have there. Yes, right? Everyone in the studio were just dancing along. But you have an expansion coming up, Island Bound, that will be the first expansion in Prison Architect history that will ship simultaneously on PC and console.
It will be.
Stacy, what can you tell us about this expansion?
Yeah, so Island Bound is built from the ground up in order to expand and enhance the core gameplay of Prison Architect. This is really exciting because it means that for the first time, you can actually build a real island prison completely independent of the road. So you no longer need to use the road if you don't want to. It also means that for the first time, you can oversee the world's most iconic island prison, Alcatraz, on the new Alcatraz map.
Got that right on the money.
And it means that you can reimagine your transportation and deliveries completely with new features like docks, helipads, helicopters, boats, and ferries. And of course, we have a cool new elite ops and a new air fire unit that can be called in during an emergency. Yeah, it's very cool.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of new stuff.
So let's check in with the team at Double 11. Joining us here is Gas Wright, Game Design Manager, and Natalie Wicks, Product Design Manager. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So Gas, it generally sounds like there's a lot of things in this expansion.
Yeah, there is. And all of the content that's coming with Island Bound will integrate seamlessly with Prison Architect's existing mechanics. So it adds a lot more variety and depth to the game.
In the first
and
place.
even if you don't want to build an island prison every single time, all the new features, the docks, helipads, helicopters, boats, ferries, new emergency services, new security features, they'll all work with your existing saves as well as new prisons that you might build on the land. And also, we have a free update that's launching on the same day with Island Bound. This update is called The Rock and it introduces dynamic prisoner reputations. So players will see prisoners gaining and losing reputations dynamically while spending time in their prison based on their actions, their experiences, and where they spend their time.
Cool. And always nice with free updates. Natalie,
It is.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the game has evolved during this past year?
Yeah, we've been very busy over the last year. So I think as of next week,
guy with
we
the
will have
little
launched
rap?
hundreds
I think
of
that's
community
Cartman in the
improvements to the
future.
game, and that's alongside the 3 expansions we've also released since then. So there was Psych Ward Warden's Edition, cleared for transfer, and now Island Bound. All of these added new mechanics to the base game as well. So, for example, Psych Ward added insane inmates. Cleared for transfer added prison privileges and security transfers. And finally, Island Bound will let people create the prison island of their dreams.
We're so much looking forward to it. But if we look more into the future, what is next for Prison Architect? Natalie, can you tell us anything about the future plans?
No, I can tell you that we do have a lot of plans for console and PC, but I'm afraid you will have to wait till later in the year for more information.
Right, but then there will be more.
Yes, but you'll have to keep your eyes open. But I can tell you that just like Island Bound, future expansions will be released on both PC and console.
Yes, so thank you for joining us, Stacy, Gas, Natalie, and good luck with the new expansion.
Thank you so much.
Island Bound and the free update, The Rock, will be available soon, so stay tuned.
But soon is never enough for some people.
Okay, well, I'm curious. What kind of warden would you be?
Ooh, good question. I would probably build a beautiful but highly insufficient and shitty prison, to be honest.
I'd probably kill all mine.
Well, I think what I would do is I'd look for a really big island, like a continent. And then I would put all the snakes and all the spiders on the continent and probably an opera house.
I see where this is going.
An opera
Okay.
house.
From one management game where everyone wants to get out to a management game where everyone wants to get in. Here is Surviving the Aftermath.
You know what, though? They've got some pretty good entryways into the next game.
And joining me here in the studio
Surviving
is
the
Stefan Eld and Lasse Liljedahl, the product manager and game director for Surviving the Aftermath. Now, guys, I notice a disturbing lack of vampires and werewolves in this game, so you're going to have to explain it to somebody who hasn't yet picked it up.
Well, Surviving the Aftermath is a post-apocalyptic survival colony builder. It's quite a mouthful to say.
Of course.
Anyway, the basic premise is that you need to build the perfect disaster-proof colony in a post-apocalyptic world. And in order to do so, you need to harvest and collect resources, you need to build your colony, you need to protect it from hostile environments or rival societies, and much, much more.
Okay, so it's a survival colony builder. I mean, that is a relatively broad genre. Lasse, could you tell me how Surviving the Aftermath stands out?
Yeah, the game is more than a colony builder. It adds strategic layers
Wow,
of gameplay.
I love that they gave him
opening up
the whole
the outside
trainer
world
like
beyond
the other.
colony. And the world map is actually one of the key features we have spent a lot of time creating. And in the world map, players can send teams of specialists to gather resources and intelligence about the world around their colony. And there they can encounter also other societies, which can be friendly or not. But they will react to players' reputation and decisions throughout the game.
So one thing that I noticed since I saw you two together last is a little change of outfit here. Everyone will remember who's been following this game how you announced it in your fantastic hazmat suits. You've updated your wardrobe, and I know you've been updating the game as well. So what's changed since we last saw you in Berlin?
So we've had 7 major content updates, and each of those updates has introduced new features, such as new trading system with other societies, vehicles that make movement in the world map much more efficient, and we also reworked the tech tree completely and expanded
Is that
quite
our
drastically.
end, or?
And one of the most recent features is a combat system, which includes a colony combat where you defend your colony against raiding bandits and have other smaller encounters with wild beasts that are roaming in the nature around your colony. And maybe one more thing to mention is the criminality system, which concerns every colonist in the game.
Okay, Stefan, but what about Steam players? When will they be able to get Surviving the Aftermath?
We will be bringing Surviving the Aftermath to Steam Early Access in October. Don't forget to wishlist it. And ever since we released the game last year, we have been receiving tons of good feedback from players. And we're hoping to develop the game with the feedback that we can get from the Steam community as well. And in fact, with the feedback that we have received, we felt that we need to add more updates to the roadmap so we can put all that content into the game that we know that the players want and that the community deserves.
So with all of these updates that have come along, obviously viewers are wondering what's next. Lastly, can you give us a sneak preview?
Of course. Update 8, called Tainted Earth, will be available on June 18th to all Surviving the Aftermath players. And in this update, we focus on pollution, which further deepens this aspect of the game by adding different pollution strengths and an area of effect around the pollution deposits and catastrophes that makes the pollution levels rise. And I might say that this is our biggest update yet for the game.
Fantastic. For new players like myself, where can I get started with Surviving the Aftermath?
Well, as I mentioned before, you can wishlist it on Steam now, and where it will be out in early access on October 22nd this year. And you can also get it on Epic Game Store and Xbox Game Preview already. And our plan is to have the game leave early access
Well,
in
it's
early
good to know that it's going to be on Xbox.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us, Lasse. Thank you for joining us, Stefan.
Thank you.
That was Surviving the Aftermath.
So that was a very smooth Surviving the Aftermath stream. No catastrophes, nothing leaked, no radiation and so on, like we're used to see in the usual.
So I really can't say
Fair
much
call,
about
fair
it.
call. But let's move on from one game about surviving an apocalypse to another about surviving your own immortality.
But first, we have something special for Paradox fans and strategy players everywhere. It's the 4th anniversary of Hearts of Iron 4, so we want to congratulate the team on going 4-on-4. And here's a little something from the game team and game director Don Lind.
So I think we're about at the end then.
Hi, my name is Dan and I'm the game director for Hearts of Iron 4. And I'm here today because this is the 4th anniversary for the game. So I want to say thank you for all our supporters, and all the feedback and all the great mods you guys have been doing. The community is bigger than it's ever been, and it's just amazing to be part of that. And also, I want to tell you guys that it doesn't really stop here. We've got a lot more cool Hearts of Iron stuff coming up in the future, so definitely look forward to that.
In 2016, Paradox released the ultimate grand strategy war game. Over the years, the game has expanded, and tools of history has evolved.
Normally that is what
sailors
happens.
and airmen, you are about to embark upon the Great Crusade. You will bring about the destruction of the German war machine.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender. The new world, with all its power and might, steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.
Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
Altering history since 2016. Nice
And a big
tagline.
congratulations to Hearts of Iron 4 on 4 years. All right, family, we've got quite the treat for you today. We recently showed you the wholesome and rhythmic way in which Kindred celebrate the holidays on our Xbox Series X showcase. But what you
Okay, now I
saw
think
was
it
only
is
most of the trailer.
us.
What we have for you today is what we're calling the Prince's Cut, with a very special guest appearance. So I suggest you
By the
stick
way, we're just
around.
about done, so
We're also going to find out
we'll let it go.
what you get when you pre-order the Bloodlines 2 Collector's Edition.
Alright, I still gotta try out the first one. But Steelbook looks awesome. And, you know, that's awesome because vinyls are making a comeback. First Blood pre-order pack. I like the outfit. Season of the Wolves Path. Ooh, that sounds fun. Elfin. Cool, I always like that. Oh, Elfin's a girl? Yeah, I really need to play the first one, huh?
And joining me here in the studio today is Nikat Ali, lead producer at Paradox Interactive,
Hello, everyone.
and Rachel Leica, lead creative designer at Hardsuit Labs.
Hello.
Now, these guys have all the gruesome details, but let's start with, what is your favorite part of the Collector's Edition, Nikki?
That will be the Elise statue, and that's because she's my favorite character. But also, since I lived in Seattle for 6 months, it's really good to have a map I've kept as a memento.
And it's quite a faithful recreation of Seattle, as I understand it.
Exactly. Cartoonified.
A map of
very
Seattle.
Cool. And Rachel, what's your favorite part of the
interesting.
collector's edition?
I'm a big fan of that 7-inch vinyl of the original soundtrack. It's a really stunning physical copy of the really amazing soundtrack made partially by Rick Schaefer, composer from the original game. So I'm pretty excited to throw that on my turntable.
I don't think you'll be the only one. Any Bloodlines fan have that theme stuck in their head. We've teased it enough. It's time to find out which kindred survived those Los Angeles nights and the long, long road to Seattle.
Ooh, a trailer. Awesome. I was sort of getting bored of just people talking. Oh, WTF. Okay, this is extremely creepy. Reminds me of like a really twisted Joker.
Let's show them how we do.
So, I feel like you're more a serial killer than you are a vampire.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now, little finger. Nice way to hide the blood. Oh, he's dead. Yep. Go jump. Not much of a reveal trailer, obviously, but come dance on your grave. The dancing's just really creepy. With the puppeteering. And then there's a Resident Evil trailer hidden within the bloodlines. Seriously, that's what this feels like. This feels like a little bit of the Resident Evil 2 one. Oh, are we actually getting a little bit of
your head's
gameplay?
gonna be so full of phosphorus, it'll be a war crime.
Oh, Damsel is back. Cool. I'll have to learn who she is.
That's right, everybody. Damsel is back for Bloodlines 2. We are so excited to be able to announce this that she has returned for our game. She has spent her time in California since the first game, establishing the Anarch Free State there, and now she's on her way to the Pacific Northwest to spread that good Anarch word.
Ugh, Bruja and Anarch. I can almost feel the rebel's blood rising. Where's the Justicar when you need one? But okay, clan critique aside, one of the great things about Damsel that old fans loved was the voice actress.
Yeah, that was Courtney Taylor, and she's reprising her role as Damsel, which is super exciting.
Okay, good to hear I won't be forced to fleshcraft anybody's voice box into anybody else. But is there anything else that you guys would like to share with the viewers about Bloodlines 2? Rachel?
Well, we're just really excited for people to start playing the game and kind of find out what kind of monster you're going to become. You can make all kinds of choices in this game. You can do all kinds of things. You can glide across rooftops. You can use your powers of vampiric persuasion to get what you want out of people. You can even dance your way into certain people's hearts if that is what you would like to do. There are many ways to be a vampire in this game. Of course, the right answer is to be a Brujah, because we have cool jackets and are pros at rabble-rousing.
Because we have
okay,
cool
there you have
jackets.
it. The one defining feature of Brujah is their 80s fashion sense. And thanks for joining us via link, Rachel, and thanks for coming into the studio, Nikki. That was Rachel Leica and Nikat Ali from the Bloodlines 2 team. Thank you, Sharon.
Seriously, that trailer really creeps me out. It gets me every time. But I can't believe that Damsel is in the game. I'm just thinking cosplay potential for all the future events.
Definitely. You could also be thinking, well, the Anarch Scum have revealed their position, and with the Archons moving swiftly towards Seattle, I think that's a wrap.
I think so too. We've experienced murders and betrayals in Crusader Kings 3.
We've met a boss in Empire of Sin.
Trapped convicts on an island in Prison Architect.
Balanced the needs of our survivors with the needs of the environment in surviving the aftermath.
Celebrated Hearts of Iron 4.
And reconnected with their fan favorite and my old enemy in Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2.
We hope that you've enjoyed this insider look. Please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands and play some games. That's all from Stockholm.
love how they had to throw
Have
in
a
what's
good night.
going on.
Bye.
I think that should put us at an end for this day one for the Guerrilla Collective. We'll see here in just a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the Guerrilla Collective's first day, but we are far from done. Of course, we've shown you a bunch of games you can get today, but we've also partnered with Steam. You can head over there to the Guerrilla Collective section, you can wishlist the games, you can show these developers love. Beyond that,
well, definitely remember to do that, guys, if you were
today at
watching
11
this.
a.m. Pacific, and then you can catch the future game show at 2 p.m. Pacific. If that wasn't enough, we're back with day 2 of the Guerrilla Collective tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific with even more reveals, trailers, and demos, and then we wrap up Monday starting at 9 a.m. Pacific with extended gameplay sessions with the developers.
Ooh, I
you
like
won't
that
want to
idea.
miss any of it, I
So-
swear. But until next time, no. It's been our pleasure to serve you.
We are going to watch the PC and
The Guerrilla Collective thanks its
future.
gold sponsor, ID
But-
at Xbox.
We're not going to do
As
that
well
till
as
we
all
finish
these
the,
supporting
the
sponsors.
days, because I don't want to sit there and, we're going to do day 1, now we're going to do PC. Hey, remember that Guerrilla Collective? We're doing day 2. No, we're going to do all the days together. Alright, well, that puts an end to that. So, it's an interesting alternative to E3. I'm glad they're doing it. I know a lot of these were more or less indie games, and that's still fine. I like seeing games that I would never normally look at. I mean, I guess day 1 was kind of meh, but again, they're doing the best they can, and with everything considering, I'm okay with it. Not really too many games I'm looking forward to. I mean, there were some less graphical ones that looked great, and can't really remember much, but when it comes to the top games, you know, I'll probably remember. I guess there's not much else to say, honestly, just that it was a nice watch. We got day 2 for the next time, and maybe day 3, if they did do a day 3. And then we'll move on to PC in future, and I don't know about the kind of gaming. I don't know if that was kind of this or not. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll go ahead and leave it here. Next time, come back for day 2 of the Guerrilla Collective Indie blah 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 blah. But until then, remember, keep gaming, never give up. I hope you guys are enjoying my fake E3 2020 that I'm just literally kind of taking from there and grouping together.